Honestly, I would probably say I'm disappointed. I mean, I'm sure we all seen videos, so yeah, that will help because he has that potential.
In full context, he did talk about Ben Simmons coming back and how he would like to have him be part of the organization again. There was a slight jab about you've seen the videos, but for the most part, he said that he wanted Ben back. The reports came out the other day that stated him, Tobias Harris, another teammate, tried to rent out a private plane to try to go meet Ben Simmons. Ben denied that. But look, the reality is the offense built around Ben is drastically different than when Ben and JWill are on the court. They had like some kind of silly record when JWill Embiid was out. They were like 13-1 when he actually centered around Ben Simmons at that 4 or 5 spot, the dunk spot. And that's what Doc Rivers actually wanted to do. He tried to sell Ben on the fact that they would, hey, let's share minutes between you and JWill Embiid. Obviously, when we need you guys in the game together, when it counts in the fourth quarter, we'll do that. But utilize you more so at the dunk spot. And I don't think Ben Simmons even cared. I think Ben Simmons wants a team to be built around him. That's one on the Ben Simmons side. But if you're the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't care what Ben Simmons says. I'm not moving you unless I get great value in return. Some of the offers that have been made have been decent, but Daryl Morey and company, it feels like they're waiting for the right opportunity a little bit later in the season when some other veterans are up, or you're watching what's happening with Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal. They become disgruntled to wait for that. So you don't make a move. And if Ben Simmons chooses not to come back, he will get fined by the NBA and his pay will be docked. If he does come back and he said he has some kind of mysterious injury, we'll have our physician look at it. We'll get a second, we'll get a third opinion to corroborate what the first physician says, and we will dock your pay. Daryl Morey and the 76ers have a position of leverage and are in control of how they handle this with Ben.
You mentioned Daryl Morey, the head of the team operations, 76ers president. Here's what he had to say on Ben Simmons.
Look, we just know the history of, you can look back at how these things play out. Ben's a great player, and, we expect him back. We expect him to be a 76er.
Well, you just heard from Daryl Morey. I understand, Jay, what you were saying earlier about how Doc wanted to use Simmons, and I get it because Simmons, it's almost psychotic. He refuses to shoot. But I look at Giannis and Simmons. They came into the league with similarities in certain respects. Simmons has better handles, better court vision, better passer. Mm-hmm. And they built a team around Giannis where he goes downhill, you either double him, he finds the open man, or he yams it, right? And they didn't do that for Simmons because they have JWill Embiid. So I get it. If I'm Simmons, I'm like, wait, put shooters around me. Let me see what I can do.
Yeah, I'm with you. It makes sense. It makes sense if you're Ben Simmons. It's interesting, though. One source said this. He says total BS with the knowledge of Simmons' outlook, talking about the analysis of him potentially, playing at that dunk spot. But here's my question I have for Ben Simmons, because obviously in order to get this to that point, you have to go through a lot mentally. And Key, you're mentally strong. I see the way you handle you put out a lot of fires during your tenure playing in the National Football League. Everything you know about Ben Simmons leading up to this point, about how he's dealt with fans, how he's dealt with, issues with JWill Embiid or Doc Rivers or Daryl Morey or the trade of James Harden, all these different things. Do you think he's mentally built to endure going through what he's going to have to go through in order for him to really be moved? If he comes back and he plans on not playing and sitting and going through all that stuff that he'll get from the fans and the media, do you think he's built for that?
I think he's learning to be built from it. You got to remember, he is still relatively young, Jay. We're not talking about a 10-year veteran in the NBA. He's still a young player, and essentially he's still a young man. And I think over time he will be built for it. But it's important for Rich Paul and the people around him to give him that shield of comfort to let him know that everything is going to be okay. In the end, they've got to work their magic. I understand what you're saying about Daryl Morey's going to do this and do that because they have the power, and he does it. But it's up to Rich Paul and the people in that office that represents him to understand that they've got to give him enough comfort to feel like it's going to work out in the end so he can not worry about the fan base and worry about what the media is saying and how it's going to derail his career and all of the different narratives that will be said about him over the next several months if, in fact, he decides not to go back and do whatever in Philadelphia. Because clearly when there's smoke, there's fire. And he does not want to be a Philadelphia 76er. And clearly JWill Embiid doesn't want him to be a Sixer. So now they've got to decide what to do with him and moving forward. And in the end, they're not going to get what they want. It just doesn't work that way.
Unless
does
they
not
expand
work
the
that way.
deal, unless they expand the deal and try to use Ben Simmons in the larger package to get an even better player, I wouldn't rule that out.
That's why you wait.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.